Hello, everyone. This is Dasha, and this is High and Smart Podcast, a podcast where we talk about creative leadership, about business, marketing, and everything that is connected to these topics. Well, basically, about everything. And today, I want to discuss a really interesting topic. And I do believe that it might sound controversial because most of people are still trying to digest this concept. And what I'm trying to like bring up to the table today is basically the concept of self-love. Um, what do you know about self-love? Mostly, what we know about self-love is not due our connection to psychologists. It's not due our articles that we read. And I want to point your attention. It's not due the work that we've done, but basically it's about the messages that we get from commercials. And this might sound odd, but the fact that one, two, three, or even 12 meeting with your psychiatrist or therapist might cause a huge shift in your consciousness about the concept of self love. But most messages that you get about self love are connected to the commercials that you see through Instagram, through Pinterest, I don't know, maybe through TV, read through magazines, or even like see in interviews of celebrities. This happens because self love is a mass culture concept. And we have to understand that there are things that are connected to us and our concept of self love. For example, if you've been to therapy, and you've been working on your issues with your therapist, and she told you or he told you that you need to focus on your self love and give yourself more permission to be loved, etc., blah, blah, blah. And we have this concept, and plus, we have a huge marketing campaigns that were built on the concept of self love, self indulgence, on how you should treat yourself, what is good for your self love, what is not so good for your self love, and most of these campaigns are unconscious. So, when you put these two different concepts together, what do you think will be a winner? Your subconscious that was like spontaneously and multiple times when you were not so conscious repeated the messages that you were getting, or a very conscious message that you had to work on? And the answer is basically very different from person to person because all of us are wired differently. And the fact that like there is such a commercial success of self-love made this concept like like huge. And the idea of self-love right now is oversimplified and misunderstood, and most of people, when you ask them about self-love, do not think about going deeper into yourself because self-love requires pain, as each love does. Yeah. And it's not only about your self-care, self-compassion, self-improvement, etc. It's not like surface level indulgence. It's about going deep and basically working on all your issues and finding like the path to love yourself unconditionally. This is a very deep concept. But besides this concept that was oversimplified and often misunderstood, there is also another and very different pillar that I see as a huge problem as well. So we now see that self concept sells, like sex used to sell, and now it's self love. Okay, we can get through it, right? Because this is not something bad. Because when people sell us things by telling us that this is going to make us happy, that's okay, we're used to that. But what I want to focus more, it's not even about the commercial success of this concept, but what I want to um, take into consideration is that this whole madness around psychology and around the self things that are happening right now. We're living in a very self-concentrated cultures. For example, there is self-love, self-worth, self-value, self-work, self-help, and everything is connected to self, which is on one hand is really great, yes, because we understand that we are the only ones who control our lives, etc., and that when we are authors of our lives, things happen really nice, etc., etc., etc. But there is another problem that we are facing as humanity, and this is a huge one, and not all of us understand how huge the problem is, and it's how disconnected we are as humans. And by disconnected, I don't mean like devices, I mean even like communicating with each other. All of us are inside of us, are self-focused, self-reflected, self-loved, self-indulged, etc. And it's not just like a regular problem that occurs and goes away, because I don't know if you know it, but in UK there is a Ministry of Loneliness. And when I first heard this concept, I thought that it was a joke, like who on earth would like create a Ministry of Loneliness? But actually they like exist for, I think, like 5 years already. And they struggle because people don't want to see other people, because people are indulging in themselves. We don't need each other in terms of like help, because we have everything, right? Men don't need women because basically like the function of women has changed. Yes, we are seeking individuals, and this is a hard thing to find a person that you might connect on spiritual level, right? And not just a, I don't know, housewife who will take care of your home, because that topic was a really, really easier thing. So, what we're like, the era that we're living right now is the era of disconnection, right? It happened through like multiple reasons, and one of them is pandemic, when we all were into this social distance thing. We were social distancing, and where we are right now, we are at this distance. And if you understand how like things work in terms of like marketing, then like remember how bright and how like huge was this social distance campaign, and there were no any like there weren't any other campaign that would tell us that, you know what, this has to stop, and right now we should be closer to each other and basically connect again, right? So we are whole, we as a human beings, as a humanity, we are living in a concept of self social isolation, because all of us got this message. We're all of us are connected into the topic of self-discovery, self-love, self-help, self-value, self-worth, and all things related. And we are also facing really huge problems in terms of like how lonely we feel. Even when we connect with other people, we feel lonely, and that causes depression, that causes anhedonia and other issues that we try to fix with I don't know, therapy, and like we need drugs, etc. So what I'm trying to say is that probably if you feel that you already have enough self-love, enough self-worth, and enough, I don't know, self-value, then probably you need to start loving others around you and sharing what you've got, because we need each other. And this is a like very important message. It's not about that you have to find people that will be your partners and for like a whole lifetime, because I truly believe that this is really important for human beings, but in general, just trying to connect to each other and going further. I mean, not ignoring the concept of self-love, not exiting it, because we don't need to exit the self-love concept. We need to go further and start loving others. And that's the next move that all of us need to make, because this idea of oversimplified self-love creates so much space between us that we do feel unhappy. And all researchers find that in order to feel happy, we need more social happy moments. In order to feel connected, we need other people. And when we have these emotions, these positive emotions, we live a brighter, a happier life. So I truly believe that we need to step forward and find our strength in loving others. that was my thought. Hopefully, it was something that a bit shifted what you've been thinking about self love. And see you, hear you next time. Thanks, Dasha.